Now, this type of video should belong on the other channel, but I think it's important to address the cultural issue that is happening here. You have a lot of game developers that go at various conferences and they talk about how they want to change the world, how they want to change morality and push boundaries through video games. Like, that is the main purpose. Entertainment is not something that they consider as a priority, neither it is making a profit. What they consider a priority is to push their political ideology in video games. And there are some games that do it more than others. You can see it with Life is Strange, where you have a MAGA supporter beating up a kid and saying, this is why we need to build a wall. But you also have like more politics, like pronouns that are being pushed in all the games now, despite the fact that the games are supposed to be competing with each other. They all seem to champion the same stuff, like skin disease, like vitiligo, refusing to use the word female. They use the word body type A, body type B. So like you notice that there's a lot of stuff going behind the scenes, usually consultancy groups that work at different game companies, like pushing for the same political ideology. Again, not to actually make the games more entertaining, but to make the games more in line with their way of thinking. And it's actually working. I remember, and I said this before, but a couple of years ago, there was this tournament called Games Done Quick. And back then, it was, I think, 2018, 2019, and the presentators of the tournament, they had their pronouns in front of them. And everyone on Twitch, like, again, this is on Twitch, everyone in the chat was making fun of them, and they had to start blocking and banning people, and eventually they shut down the chat. But I want you to understand the type of culture that existed then. And after that, almost every single video game started pushing pronouns in. After that, you have corporations doing the pronouns. And later on, when heel versus babyface was complaining about video games current daying, the same people that used to laugh at the Games Done Quick event were now laughing at heels versus babyface. So, like, this is working, right? Like, them trying to subtly social engineer society, which is literally what they call themselves, social engineers, right? Like, this came from the American academia, and it was passed down to the activists. It is working. And there are individuals like Quartering and others that are noticing that there is an ideological push. And, you know, it's fine if you want to do that with your money, but I don't understand why a right-winger should support it if they don't agree with the ideology being pushed. Like, again, if you have a video game where a Trump supporter is beating up a kid and he's like, oh, we should build a wall, why would the right-winger support that with his cash? Like, why would you use your finances to pay for that? Now, of course, you know, when you go out on the internet and you're talking about these things, like, sometimes maybe you don't express it in the right way. Like, you do not use the right words, the right syntax. But the spirit of what you're saying, the actual meaning of what you're saying is there. However, left-leaning people who want the ideology to be pushed, they have to go after the detractors. So they will pretend that they don't understand. They will pretend that you're actually talking about something else and you're being ridiculous. So this is one of the memes that they keep sharing, where you have like a gender swap or something like that. It's like, now you made it political. So let's address this, because I've seen it so many times used. People do not have an issue with women in games. Like, let's get that out of the way, right? Because you can't explain away Stellar Blade. You can't explain away Tomb Raider. You can't explain away Nier Automata. There are so many games that have female characters. You cannot explain why Night Elves are a popular race in World of Warcraft. What people have a problem with is companies pretending that they have created a monumental achievement by casting a woman in a video game. That is the propaganda. That is the politic. Is the marketing. It's when you go out of your way to pretend that you have done something that other human beings should bow down to your corporation, like they bow down to the church and say, wow, thank you, holy institution, for making the world a better place. When you have done absolutely jack shit, you just put a woman in a video. Like any other company can do this. You know, it has been done since almost the inception of video games. It's not something in 2024 that if you do, people are astonished. So this is number one, right? Like, the idea that for-profit, multi-billion-dollar corporations are actually entities that give a fuck about this. Like these companies would pay for a woman so that she can cross state lines and get an abortion rather than her being pregnant and being set on maternity leave. Like, this is the type of companies we're talking about. And you want me to believe that they champion women? Fuck off. The second thing is who they casted. The reason people are upset about this game is not because they casted the female character. I mean, some of them may do it, is justified. We're going to get into that a little bit. But the main concern, though, isn't the fact that they casted a woman. It's who they casted. It's the personality of this particular voice actress that's concerning. Because people have dug it up and they found that she had tweets against the cops, right? She wants to defund the police. She had tweets against cis women that disagree with her ideology and told them to log off. She's blocking people who never interacted with her, which can only be explained away by block lists. Like, why would you block the customer? And then when people are pointing it out, the response from a previous Sony executive is, hey, don't like the game, don't buy it. So people are concerned about the marketing of this game, because if I, as a game developer, would have someone of influence saying, hey, if you don't like the game, don't buy it, I would step out and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. No. We do not stand by that. Right? Like, this is that person's opinion. We do not think that if you don't like the game, you shouldn't buy it. If you don't like the game, please tell us why, and we will try our best in order to fix it. Obviously, we can't make everyone happy, but hey, you know, like, we at least we're going to try. That's what I would have done, right? But the company isn't doing that. So I do think it's going to influence the sales. Like, this is a marketing campaign that is meant to cause outrage and division, and it used to work back in 2016. I'm not sure it works now. And this may actually lead to them losing sales rather than gaining. But they probably expect to gain back from government grants and also from ESG type loans. So this is probably why they do it. It's definitely not to please the fans. Because the question is, out of thousands of voice actresses that you had which wanted this job, why did you go out of your way to pick the most extreme, outspoken activist out there? So this is what people are concerned. Now, the gender swapping is also interesting, right? Because apparently it's not justified for people to be upset that the main character in a franchise has been gender swapped. But I don't think that's the case. I think if you're paying money for a product, you're justified to decide not to pay it for whatever reason. Like, you're telling me that if in Tomb Raider they decided to gender swap Lara Croft, and now you're playing with someone else, even if it makes sense from a story point of view, like you're playing with her son or something, you're playing with her husband, heaven forbid, would that not justify the people that are fans of the franchise to speak out and say, why are you doing this? Like, no, this is Tomb Raider. Like, we want to play with Lara Croft. We do not want to play with anyone else. It's Tomb Raider. That's what we want to play with. If they were to change the main character from Stellar Blade and add a guy, and people would be like, well, this is Stellar Blade. We want to play with the main character. We want to play with a woman. Like, this is what the game, you know. Why would that be ridiculous? Why would that be unjustifiable? And you know it's political because they do it with race swapping as well. And we actually know what happens when the race swapping is reversed. So, for instance, the diversity consultants from Sweet Baby, they decided to race swap Angry Boba, the God of War Ragnarok, I don't know, some giant character, and they made her black, right? So when Quartering was upset, again, the same meme, it's like, oh, you made it political, oh, look how ridiculous you are. But yesterday, someone made a mob where you're making Angry Boba white. And all of a sudden, that mod got banned from Nexus mods within an hour. And no one is like, oh, Nexus mods, oh, you're making it political. Oh, look how ridiculous you are. It's only one way. And the politics isn't the race swapping, isn't the gender swapping. It's the culture around it. It's how people are reacting to it. The left knows why they're reacting to this. Like, you cannot tell me that if a AAA game decided to cast a person as the face of the game, which had the exact opposite ideas like this lady. And the person would be for funding the police, for being very tough on crime, He would be a strong Republican supporter. He would be like for building a wall, for deportation. You cannot tell me that the left would be fine with it and no one would say, yeah, we're boycotting the game, we're not buying it. In fact, we actually know what happened with the Wizards game and how the left reacts. And when the left boycotts, it's not enough that they go around and they say, okay, we're not buying the game. No, they actually go and they harass streamers that stream the game. They harass streamers that even say, we may actually consider playing the game. They did this to VTubers, and it's interesting how they target only women. Like, they didn't target people like Angry Joe, they didn't target people like Asmongold. They only target the female VTubers. I found that to be very interesting, because again, it's the left doing it, right? And they're the ones that champion women's rights. So this is the explanation of the beep. To summarize, it is not the fact that the character has been gender swapped that's upsetting people. It's the marketing campaign behind this. It's the company pretending that they're actually doing a monumental achievement. It's the people that are ignoring the actual concern that this is an activist and it's her policies that do not vibe well with the gaming community. And there is no justification why a right-winger would want to support policies like defund the police. Like, why would you want to spend money for a game that gives a platform to a person who wants to defund the cops? If you're a right-winger, like if you're a leftist, by all means, buy 10 copies. But if you're a right-winger, like, what is the justification? And, you know, like, at the end of the day, what I see people saying is, like, I personally wouldn't buy it. They're not saying no one should buy it. They're not saying, like, no, they're saying this is the reason why I wouldn't buy it. And the left is livid about it because you don't want to be a wallet for a multi-billion-dollar corporation. This is where we're at. So let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.